David is known as a man after God's own heart. But later in his life, he found out he couldn't trust his heart because he sinned and caused a great deal of difficulty because of his disobedience. David did the right thing, though, in response to his sin. He confessed it. So let's talk about the power of confessing our sin in order to be right with God. And for David, there was 3 stages. First of all, he prayed, "God, search my heart." And I want to encourage you to take a moment or two and ask God to show you anything in your life that displeases Him. Ask God to show you where there's the cancer of sin beginning to take root in your heart. The second thing he prayed is a prayer of confession. He confessed his sin. And he asked God, he said, "Wash me from my sin. Blot away my transgressions. Cleanse my heart." He confessed his sin. The Scripture says in 1 John that if we confess or agree with God about our sin, God is faithful and just to forgive us of that sin and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. The third thing he did is accept God's forgiveness. And he experienced that cleansing of his heart. He experienced the fact that God restored the joy of his salvation. Realize that if Jesus' death on the cross was good enough for God, it should be good enough for you, and you should forgive yourself when you realize that God has forgiven you. Today, I want you to take some time and ask God to examine your heart, and I want you to take some time to agree with God. When in doubt, confess it out. Agree with God about the sins He brings to your mind. Start the day with the power of confessing sin and being absolutely right with God.